Thank you all and giving me this opportunity in this international conference. This is Shishir Reza. I'm an associate member of Bangladesh Economic Association, and recently I have joined in, as an assistant director in Bangladesh Bank. So this is my topic. Actually, all you know, the consumerism and environmental insurgencies, concerns, causes, and countermeasures. Actually, all you know, the democracy, first of all, before going this, the full paper or main paper, all you know, the democracy is from the class 7 to master's level. All we know that the democracy is for the people, by the people, and of the people. But the global context, the present global context, implies us the democracy is for the people. This for makes it APR, and of the people, OA, it makes OW, means no people. And last one, BY, by the people, it makes or converts BYE, by actually. So that's the context of the global scenario. So I relate to my paper the consumerism and environmental insurgencies. Consumption is a very good thing. We need consumption to secure life, but excessive consumption is very harmful. As a student of environmental science and resource management, I know the excessive amount of consumption is not sustainable, which makes or creates insurgencies in our environment, especially related to our land, water, forest, oil, energy, electricity. So we have to think about the sustainable consumption to save our environment and nature, society. All you know that climate change is a big issue or a global issue at this time. So this time we should care about the consumption pattern, because the excessive consumption creates a huge amount of losses to our society. Because you know that Joseph Stiglitz, the Nobel laureate, he said the economic policy, what is the best economic policy actually? He said about the best economic policy is whose long-term social impact, whose the best economic policy or environmental policy, or it can be environmental economics related policy. The best policy or economic policy is that whose long-term social impact is positive. So we can consider the Bangladesh context actually, and all you know, the neoliberalism is a term. Neoliberalism is a term under the theory or under the concept of the free market economy. Neoliberalism is a term. Under the neoliberalism, the global environmental element or sector, especially the land, water, forest, especially the people even. You can consider Rohingya, the Myanmar, it doesn't matter. All you know that under the theory of neoliberalism or the common unholy nexus, the land, water, forest and the common people are exterminated from our society. You can consider Rohingya, the Syrian people, or the whatever, you can consider one of the issue like that. And the next part is we can consider the water security, because it is the basic element to our consumption. You know that there are 46 canals in our Dhaka city, 46 canals. But out of 46 canals, there are 34 canals has already encroached by the corporatized or common unholy nexus. So that patterns makes our environmental or creates insurgencies to our society or environment. And the next part, you can consider the forest or the biodiversity. Actually, we know where our wildlife sectors under the very threat condition actually, because we use wood, we use leaf, we use animal tannery use, and different kinds of materials from the source of the forest. But the land encroachment in forest by the local elites, corporate elites, and they are closely related to the encroach to land under the political issue actually. So that's the pattern, that this unsustainable consumption or unsustainable encroachment makes the forest or creates insurgencies to our society and environment. And next we can consider the radiation, mobile tower radiation. All the audience of the people use mobile. Yeah, all people use mobile, but you know that what's the bad impacts of mobile? We use mobile, but there is a radiation from the mobile phone tower. I have a fundamental study of the mobile tower radiation and its impact on human body and environment. So you use mobile and speak to your friend or cousin or mother, father, but the radiation comes from the mobile phone towers, which is very bad to our health and environment. But you consume a thing, but the unsustainable pattern of mobile tower radiation creates a hazards to your body or our environment actually. So and the next we have food, energy, water. Well, you know, the present context or the environmental management context in specific forest water, it's very rudimentary level, I think. And I specify specifically in Bangladesh context. All you know that our GDP is 7% or closely 7.2%, and we are going to a middle income country by the year of 2021. And to achieve this GDP or the middle income level, we need 7.5 or 8% gross domestic product. But it is not possible to encroach our environment or create a pollution to our environment. And in this context, we can combine actually to do our development. And there is a common challenges actually. So what will you do? What we have seen actually, the political corruption as well as the political, social, cultural instability, and in urban region there is a sanitation problems. The unsustainability occurs in our city actually, and the ecological condition is not so far like that. There is a huge amount of wildlife species, they are extinct day by day. And I can mention another unsustainable consumption pattern, that the shrimp farming in the South Bangla level. And so that's the pattern only. And finally, we have some policies: Bangladesh Constitution, Environmental Protection, Environment Policy, Forest Policy, Environment Conservation Act, Environmental Code. So I think we have laws, different types of policies, strategies, and finally I want to mention that we are going to a middle income country in the context of the global development. I think we have to combine or integrate to our development, especially as a student of environmental science. I have to mention we have to combine or integrate to our development to relate to our environmental security and economic growth. Thank you so much.